Hello and welcome back to my GTNH playthrough. It is October 9th and we are staring at my Mega UBF out of power. I may have made too big of a craft for tier skipping, so it's kind of drained. So at the end of this video I'll come back and turn it back on, but I'm going to let these buffers fill back up for a little bit, so hopefully it doesn't stall out again. I assume it stalled out doing the MAR CE ingots. I should have been, as I was waiting on other stuff today, I should have small crafted those throughout the day. So, I guess the first kind of thing I did, actually I'm going to hop down here to show because it was kind of goofy of me. So the other day, I had mentioned I tried to make a fake pattern for my assembler, or I guess assembly line down here, where I just like use the regular pattern and put it in here. It was just this guy, this electric motor, and for whatever reason it wasn't working. Well, today when I put the real patterns in that I made in the new terminals, it still didn't work, and then I realized I was just being a doofus, and I could have had that fake pattern that I had crafted up still actually work and been fine had I just disabled these storage buses while I was doing that. Basically all I did was throw all the items into the pattern and then threw it over here. But the reason that I would have needed to disable these is, if you remember, I actually had an export bus here and here for I think it's tantalloy or indoloy, indoloy, and then the lubricant here. I just had them exported because every recipe needed it. However, with storage buses, this prevents when this thing is in blocking mode for it to be able to push. And you do need this in blocking mode, or else it will try to push more stuff and then they'll end up in the wrong slots down here. So I actually didn't need to do everything I did by hand if I had just not goofed it. But that's alright. It's one of those things that it pops up every once in a while, especially when messing around with blocking mode, and I'll forget about it and be like, why is this not working? And now that I knew it was supposed to be working, made me reevaluate what I was doing. But since I got it set up and now I've got all the patterns in here, and I did do the LUV pattern for this field generator, which I hadn't even done an IV field generator yet, which you know what, I actually didn't check, but I assume I would need for the tier 4 rocket. Oh, it's not even on here. Let's see. Let's take a look. Tier IV for rocket 6 for maybe? Or I guess I just don't get to see that recipe. Okay. Anyways, I'm guessing I would need to get the LUV fuel generator, you had to scan an IV fuel generator, and I hadn't crafted one of those yet. So, actually, I think I did craft the LUV one, but I haven't actually held it. So, no, I didn't craft that either. Interesting. I could have swore I started that craft, but actually, I know what happened. I gotta make sure I have the data stick in here. I do have a data stick in here. Okay. So anyways, I messed around with that, got the patterns in there. They do work. I've crafted a bunch of stuff today using some LUV parts. The next thing I did was specifically I came down here and upgraded these reactors to the MOX reactors. And then I also set up the information panels over here to keep an eye on the temperature and stuff. I did end up having to roll back the server once, and it's because I swear every time I change something on one of these, the first time it just doesn't work for no apparent reason. So I changed all these to MOX. I swapped out everything in here, like the different storage cells, the export bus, etc., to get MOX into the system. And then for whatever reason they melted down. I rolled back the server, and then no, I didn't change a single thing, and they haven't had an issue since. I even upgraded the capacity on this super battery up here or super capacitor up here, and so these guys were running even longer and still no issues. So I don't know, it's a mystery. I don't understand what is different, considering I didn't change anything at all. But it is working. You can see from this, I actually really did need to do it. So right now with these guys running, I'm making the 350. This average output here at let's say 150,000 just for simplicity. The old reactors only made up to 120,000, so that's a big upgrade, and I'll be able to upgrade some more things up here. I did have to add in more storage, and it looks like I'm actually going to need to add in even more storage. Let's see, 64k. I think I wasn't able to craft too many, because the next issue I ran in today, as you see, all these are red. I kind of probably need to make some like specific partitioned cells with void overflow for some of the items that I have way too many of, but that's a future problem. I just keep adding more cells for the moment. So I did run out of diamonds, which was why I only had 4 of those 64k cells in there instead of more, because I couldn't even request more. So I moved this red sapper over here. He was running over in the old base, but this guy can have it running on LUV power, so it does a process every second. So back up to like 316 just off this guy. But it was also my biggest bottleneck. So, you know, as I've been working towards the precise assembler or precision assembler, which specifically I'm aiming for the Mark 1. It is a little expensive for me at this point, especially, but I want it so I can finish out the, why am I struggling to do tier 2? So these casings, I have it saved over here. Why? Okay. What is happening? Alright, sorry. I don't know why I was bringing up the multi-block structure first when clicking on this. But, so, where is it at? So, just in general, if you're looking at this, I need 42 for the multi-block, as far as I can tell, which means I needed 42 robot arms, and when I went to click that, I was 3,000 graphite short. So I did move the diamond bees up here, and then crafted the more climate upgrades. So really good to have the LUV components on autocraft now. I got one running on 4 and one running on 5, just because this line, if I run both on 5, just doesn't seem to be able to handle it. But so we're getting diamond a lot faster. However, that still wasn't enough, and then I went back to check, because I've never heard anyone complain about graphite being a problem. But it turns out you can actually smelt it from the silicone carbide, which then is mixed from raw silicone and carbon dust. So I did set up these recipes and was able to get that stuff starting to craft. I will say, I should have really, before I started crafting all this stuff today, invested on upgrading my graphene recipe, because if we come on here to graphene, I'm still rocking, or this recipe here, the 64 and 32 phosphorus doped for 160 seconds. I did move it over to this LUV assembler for the moment, just so that it's 40 seconds, because I was crafting so much of the stuff. But honestly, there are much better graphene recipes. If I had pre-planned all my progression a little better, I think I would have immediately gone for this super glue. I would have gone for the super glue. Go from 160 seconds down to 10, and also only need 8 phosphorus doped wafers, which is 4 times better than this. And this phosphorus doped wafer was still a slow recipe. I did actually address that specifically earlier. I cleaned up this area a little more. This was still off of diesel, so it was only up to EV. I didn't even have it overclocked, so I brought down IV power and overclocked it to LUV, as well as upgraded the coils, because these coils were still on nichrome. So it went from 300 seconds to 37.5, which is a huge improvement. So that was a big speed up. And let's see, where are we at? The server, here we go. Right now, I am crafting up the these Mark One casings for the Precise Assembler. Finally, once I have these crafted, nothing should slow me down from actually being able to build this multi-block, because everything else on here is straightforward. There's nothing hidden. I have the glass. The lower casings I can make all the way up to ZPM. I gotta remind myself before I construct it what these casings actually do for me if I upgrade them. But all this stuff can be. The rest of this is we're golden. But I am having like throughput issues on some of the stuff. This MAR CE, this is the one we're tier skipping with the EBF to be able to craft. So I kind of got to go slow on this guy. Like I said, if I pre-planned the day better, I would have crafted a little in the morning, kept an eye on the batteries, crafted a little more, etc., etc. But this is, once these are crafted, I'll get that guy done. I'm going to leave this running overnight, so I don't think this is going to take that long to craft. I'm nearly through everything else. So in the morning, I'll finally set up this Precise Assembler, which then will let me mess around with the neutronium thing, which I did start crafting some of the components because I wanted to make sure I actually had everything ready instead of kind of getting caught off guard again, which there is a good chance that I miss something and I'll get caught off guard. But let's see, this guy, the neutronium activator. So I got this block set up. I believe this, what is happening? This block I don't have set up. Now I'm looking at this and I know I don't, because I would have recognized. I know I didn't set up this beryllium plate. I know we have plenty of beryllium, so that won't be an issue. The blue alloy and superconductor. The rest of the stuff is set up. I just need to hit this pattern and run it. Plus I need to look into how this block works, and then I'll be setting it up specifically to handle the Nequata, and then the Nequata line will be done. My goal is to finish tomorrow off with getting this guy running and completing the Nequata line, and then kind of looking from there for what to do in the future. But I am going to I'm going to set up those patterns and kind of go back to waiting, and then as well as nursing this guy over here to get through crafting the last of these ingots to get the assembler set up. But I hope everybody has a good night. I appreciate anybody for watching who did, and I will see you tomorrow. Goodbye.